Hello everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to continue my legend series, and today I really wanted to give Harold Larwood of England, the main exponent of the Bodyline series in 1932-1933 against Australia. Without Harold Larwood, I mean, this cricket legend series would definitely be incomplete. As much he's almost like a cult figure. Growing up, I've watched a Bodyline series, and even though there are many people who might have criticized Larwood for his tactics and who probably even didn't like him, but I think even them have probably secretly admired his bowling. That's how good he was and how scared and lethal he was. I mean, his name used to send tremors across the batting opposition team. That's how hostile he was and dangerous he was. So let me give you Harold Larwood. He was born 14 November 1904 in Nottinghamshire in England. And of all the fast bowlers that I have given, I mean, I don't think there will ever anyone be shorter than him. He was only 5 foot 8 inches, and that is really, really short for a fast bowler. So imagine how powerful his action was. I mean, they say he had a sweet bowling action, a really rhythmic, smooth bowling action, and he had a side-on bowling action, and he used to generate extreme pace out of his action. Obviously, I had mentioned that Ray Lindwall had modeled his action on Larwood, and a lot of bowlers have copied Larwood. So you can imagine the strength of his action at 5 foot 8 inches. If he had to produce extreme speeds like that, he should have had an excellent rhythmic run up that exploded at the crease, and that's exactly what Harold Larwood was. Unfortunately, his career was curtailed because of the Bodyline series, and he was banned from cricket. So he only played 21 Test matches for England, and he took 78 wickets. It's sad that he could only play that much, and even his top score was 98 runs. He also batted quite well. And in first class cricket, thankfully, he was able to play first class cricket for Nottinghamshire, and he really took an amazing tally of 1,427 wickets for Nottinghamshire, and he had 98 5 wicket hauls and also 20 10 wicket hauls. And he also scored 7,290 runs with three first class hundreds. So Carol Larwood, even though everyone knows and recognize him as a bowler, he was a really good batsman as well, scoring 7,290 runs in first class cricket and having 300s as well. But 1,427 wickets is amazing. And by the way, he had an absolutely stunning average of 17.51. He took his 1,427 wickets at first class cricket at an average of just 17.51, which means every 17.51 runs he had a wicket. And Larwood actually, he started working at the mines when he was only 14 years old. And that's where he obviously his upper body strength, he had a body strength that he got from the experience of working at the mines. And he played club cricket, and he was recognized at club cricket, and he was sent to Nottinghamshire where he played, and then eventually he played for his country, England. And I'll just give you a prelude to the Bodyline, because before Bradman came, England used to dominate the Ashes series. But once Sir Don Bradman came, I mean, he used to dominate the English fast bowlers, even Larwood, and the rest of the bowlers. And he used to score runs a lot, and Australia used to dominate the Ashes. So England really wanted that Ashes back, and that's how this whole thing about Bodyline started. And Douglas Jardine was the famous captain at that time for England. And they implemented even before the Bodyline series, they had like a practice test of the tactics during some of the matches, and it was successful against great players like Herbert Sutcliffe. A lot of big players, Larwood found it his penetrative, I mean, his Bodyline tactics. And in that 1932-33 series, they employed it against Australia. And in the first test at Sydney, England won by 10 wickets, and Larwood took 10 wickets as well. But in the second test, Bradman played well, and Australia won the second test. But in the third test, the Adelaide third test is regarded as probably one of the most, if not the most unpleasant tests ever. In that third test match in Adelaide, they really used the Bodyline tactics, and a lot of Australian batsmen were hit on the head and the bodies, and there were a lot of them going unconscious and taken off the field. There was even a batsman whose bat was taken off from his hand with the ball that Larwood bowled. And Bodyline series, I've shown a picture in from one of my old books. Basically, it's bowlers coming around the wicket and placing fielders on the leg side. Like you have like 3, 4, 5 fielders on the leg side, and basically just bowling at the body all the time. But I mean, honestly, if a really good fast bowling attack does that meticulously and efficiently as a batsman, you don't have anywhere to hide. And because there's no shots you can play on the offside, because it's all aimed at your body, and eventually you are going to get hit on the body, and eventually you will spoon a catch to one of the close in leg side fielders. So that was a very difficult tactic thing that Larwood and Douglas Jardine used. And I don't know, there was a lot of criticism. And England won that Test series 4-1, and Bradman's average was much lesser than his normal average. He was really troubled by that tactic of Harold Larwood bowling on the body as well. Even was, I mean, his opening partner, they bowling on the body, and that restricted the Australian batsmen a lot. And Larwood took 33 wickets in that series, and more than the 33 wickets, he really created a psychological issue with the Australian batsman who was just afraid to bat, and he really created havoc in that series. And his nickname, by the way, Harold Larwood's nickname is also the Wrecker, so you can imagine how he was known as. The Wisden once said that there hasn't been a fast bowler who's just the mere mention of his name would send tremors across the opposition batsman. That is how Harold Larwood was feared of in those old times. And I've seen obviously bowling clips of how he bowls on YouTube. I've seen even in TV old rare clippings. And in those times, the speedometers weren't that accurate or anything. But even at that time, when they measured his speed, he was bowling 90 to 100 miles per hour. Imagine 90 to 100 miles per hour in those times on unprepared wickets without helmets or any body guard equipments. So he was definitely very nasty to face. And after the Australian tour, I mean, he was asked to apologize for his bowling in that Test series, Bodyline series, and he refused to apologize. He said he only carried out the instructions that was given to him by his captain, Douglas Jardine, and Harold Larwood refused to give an apology, and he was later on banned from international cricket, but he went on to play first-class cricket. But after many years, after retirement and all those things, he actually was in Australia. He was invited to Australia, and he had a warm welcome in Australia, and he basically died in Australia as well. He was very famous even then, and he was warmly welcomed in Australia despite all the things that happened during that Bodyline series of 1932-33. And he was like a cult figure, like I said. I mean, he was really fast, and he was one of the finest fast bowlers of all time. Definitely one of the fastest fast bowlers of all time. Even Don Bradman has said that he has never faced anyone more faster than Larwood and more lethal than Larwood. I mean, a lot of players in those times, commentators, they all regarded Harold Larwood as the fastest bowler of that generation and the finest bowler of that generation. And many say they have never seen such a fast bowler in the entire history of cricket. Even today's fast bowlers, like they say, a lot of fast bowlers, you see 100 miles per hour, but a lot of players of the older generation still think that Harold Larwood was probably the fastest of all of them. So, I mean, imagine him bowling on those unprepared pitches without helmets, everything. So anyway, that is my video on Harold Larwood, who is like a cult figure, one of the most influential figures on cricket, as someone who really created a big controversy with that Bodyline series, and the Bodyline series was banned, and he was also banned from international cricket. Obviously, in the 70s and 80s, a lot of West Indians, Australians have bowled at the body bouncers, but this is totally different. Like I said, I'm just repeating again, coming around the wicket and placing like 4-5 fielders on the leg side close in and just bowling at your body all the time. I mean, that was what Bodyline series was. I've shown pictures in one of my videos. I did show a picture of that Bodyline field placing. So if you check one of my videos, it is there. I think it is in that video where I gave Dennis Lilly. The video that I gave for Dennis Lilly, I have given the pictures of the field positions for that Bodyline series. So if you want to please check it, please check that Dennis Lilly video. I have given it inside the Dennis Lilly video. You can see them. So that is my video on Harold Larwood, definitely one of the fastest bowlers of all time in cricket history and one of the most feared lethal bowler in his era, who really terrorized the Australian batsmen during the Bodyline series and winning the Ashes back for England 4-1. They beat Australia in the 1932-33 Ashes. And Larwood was a big influential figure in Ray Lindwall's life. Ray Lindwall, the great Australian bowler, got inspiration from Harold Larwood and modeled his action on Harold Larwood as well. I had mentioned it in the last video. So that is my video and some information about Harold Larwood. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please take care and God bless you.